meet you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Well, we are pretty busy preparing our amazing program for Biohacking Congress, which will be in Silicon Valley on November 20th. As you know, it will be on-site event, and we are so happy to have you as a speaker. And finally, I will meet you in person. For those who cannot join us at the location, it is still opportunity to watch live stream of this event. We are going to live stream this event all day. There will be 15 amazing speakers, biohackers, experts on health optimization, longevity, and it is amazing opportunity to all who would like to start build their own health foundation. So we invite you to join, watch us live. You can find the link under this video and get access to live stream with 50% discount by promo code BIOHACKER. And today I'm happy to introduce Dasha Maximov, one of our speakers. Dasha is founder and CEO of WhealthCo. Dasha will speak about very important benchmarks which women should measure, and she will explain why it is so important. Now, Dasha, please tell us a little bit more about your platform, about your collective, and what is your mission?
Fab. Thank you. And thanks for the introduction. I'm really excited to be there later on in November and to actually have a conference in person. Just gonna be fab. So WhealthCo, so it's called Women's Health Community, WhealthCo for short, is a playground. It's an online platform that's not on social media, that is a place where women can connect, where they can experiment, where they can share their own experiments, which they're doing on their own, and be vulnerable. I think that one of the main things within women's health right now is because research takes so long, it behooves us as women to be doing the research on ourselves and having this citizen science mentality, and then be able to share those N-of-1 experiments and be able to be open and say, listen, these are the things that I'm seeing and these are the things I'm experiencing as a woman.
So it is some platform to share experience between each other and to save time, to get knowledge from the first hands from those who already experience in some area. And I think that there are a lot of experts on exercising, on nutrition, the dietitian, healthy sleep, healthy mind, at your platform, yeah, and they always have some conversations. I saw you host some webinars and some lectures also. How does it work? How they share their experience between each other? Do they host events or what it is?
Exactly, yeah. So last year we had a number of different cities that were starting to come up, and we were having in-person live events, similar to how you guys are doing it with Biohacking Congress. 2020 being as it is, many other live events stopped. And so it's an online platform. We started having webinars. The webinars fit in with the podcast. So the idea here being that we have a podcast, we have experts who, again, I think a lot of times what we've seen is that many experts will go and they'll speak in generalities about, oh, these enzymes work for both men and women, or these that fasting works for men and women. But what we try to do is we specifically find experts that know about women's health, and we hone in on that on the podcast. And then following the podcast, following that conversation, there's a webinar where people can ask their own questions. Because the problem right now is that you hear these incredible podcasts, you hear these incredible experts, and then you have your own questions and you want to ask them, and you don't have the chance to do that. So the webinar is exactly that. So we have the webinar.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's always interesting to get some feedback, especially on your questions and how they answer. So if I am a part of your community, can I ask questions through email to some experts, or how it works?
Yeah, so we have, the platform itself, it's the same platform that 𝗕𝗵𝘆 is using. It's a similar platform as 𝗕𝗵𝘆 is using. So platforms that they look and feel like social media. They look and feel like Facebook, but it's not. If you've seen Social Dilemma, you can understand why I really don't want to be using social media. I understand that's an amazing tool, but the censorship, the psychological impact that social media has on us, we really just didn't want to use that. So it's a tool that is separate and distinct, and it's specifically for WhealthCo. And people can ask their questions there. They can host their chats. They can have their own topics of conversations. They can message people one-on-one. It's a pretty, it's similar again to the typical Facebooks and kind of forums that we know to be true. The other thing that we do with WhealthCo is introduce people to products. So there are specific products, and we're kind of lucky enough to have a number of doctors and researchers within the network. And if they have new products that are coming up, or new entrepreneurs that want to try something out within a group of women who understand their cycles, understand data, then this is the place to go. So we have a couple of women right now who are really playing around with fasting and saying, okay, I'm tracking fasting every single week. I'm doing this once per, a 24-hour fast every single week at the same day, the same time. Let's see what I notice over my cycles. Let's see what happens when I use a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor, and how that's going to impact my data, including my sleep, including my, my 𝗕𝗶𝗄 levels later on down in 2-3 months.
Very interesting. How, for example, I can become a part of this community? It's just easy registration, and I'm already inside, already aboard.
Yeah. So it's quite simple. Just go to it's wealth.community. So 𝗕𝗹𝗆.community. You'll be able to sign up there, and then that's the thing that I've been loving so much about it is you sign up. It's really easy, and immediately you have access to women who are similar to you, who are saying, I'm not interested in another Band-Aid approach to my health. I'm not interested in just the quick silver bullet. I'm interested in really understanding, why do I feel this way, and how come I've had these symptoms for 4 years, and how can I make sure that I don't have these symptoms for the next 40 years, right? And so it's what I love about it is the types of conversations we've had, the types of new things that I've learned, the things that I realized I was kind of scared of or ashamed of, that's come up in my conversation on the platform.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, I understand you. So, dear friends, as you see, Dasha is a very experienced speaker who combined a lot of knowledge from different experts. That's why we invited you. That's why you are one of our speakers. And do you know, our audience of our events and platform very mixed. So we are not just for women or for men. So for everyone who would like to become the best version of yourself. And at our Biohacking Congress, there will be more than 15 speakers, and we structure this program as mix of some knowledge about the capability of your body and about innovation technologies. We also will include interesting panel discussion about innovation technologies in health tech and biotech areas, and we will invite inventors in this industry from Silicon Valley, San Francisco. So it is not just about some exercising or sleep or mind, which is obviously very important, but just I would like to emphasize that it will be some mix about the capability of body and about technologies. So yeah, regarding this part of program for women, together with you, Dasha, we will also have several speakers about women health, such as 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗀, founder of Warrior Woman Mode, and we actually just had interview with her before your interview. She will be speaking about how to optimize exercising and fuel. And I know that your two lectures together will work very well. And I expect that our guests will get a lot of life-changing information, because you both are very experienced, and even your two lectures can change lifestyle of women and can help them to build their beauty from inside to outside. And regarding your lecture about the main benchmarks, why to measure and how to measure, I don't want to ask you a lot because we don't have many time now, but still I would like to give to our followers some practice advices right now, and maybe you can explain why it is so important and why they should join us and listen all the program, and then join your collective and learn more about this topic. So please explain what benchmarks, what it is.
Sure. So I think the first thing that I would say is my talk, while it's geared towards women, I think it would be very silly for men not to listen to. And the reason I say that is because if you're a man, you probably have a woman in your life, be it a mother, be it a
So for
daughter.
everyone, good. So you lecture for everyone. Very good.
Well, the thing is, it's just, I think it's oftentimes with women's health, we get pigeonholed and we get said, oh, okay, well, they're talking about, you know, PMS and that's it. And the end, and it's not for me. So whatever, I don't care. The fact of the matter is that if you're a man and you have a woman in your life, Chan, if you're coming to this conference, if you're listening to the conference, right, and you have the option and you have the potential to help her with her health, if you know what's going on, right? And so that's, I mean, the lecture, again, I don't have that much time either here nor even during the conference, but the first thing is we will talk about the cycle. And I think not from the icky, like, we're not going to do that. Don't worry, guys, right? But there is so much misinformation and so much that women have no idea about their cycle and how their cycle really is going to impact the foods they eat, whether they fast, whether they don't fast, how they're going to work out. So Kristen's talk will be exactly about that, I guess. What is the skincare that both women and men should be using? You know, women, we put on 19 different products on average per day. Think about how that's impacted the hormones. So from a both men and women perspective, the conversation, the dialogue and kind of the talk will be, in my opinion, quite informative, because there's a lot of hidden things that, as I've been researching and talking to all these experts, I'm realizing how much I had no idea about my own cycle and about my own biomarkers, that I need to then go to my doctors and say to my doctors, guys, I want to know why these are the way that they are and what I can do to change them.
Dasha, I'm curious, what are the common mistakes for women? Common mistakes when they do not understand themselves very well enough, and maybe they very often do something wrong. Could you please give some examples of common mistakes?
The quick ones that come to mind, one is they eat just like their male counterparts. So they think that there's no difference in terms of the foods that we need to be eating, the timing of the food that we need to be eating, the types of supplements that we need to be taking in addition, right? So that's the first thing. The second, I would say, is not understanding fasting, and when fasting, then when in the month they should and should not fast to impact their cycle and to impact their long-term health. Because there are certain weeks in the month that we really should not be fasting. And then the third thing mind is also strength training and muscle bearing kind of loads. A lot of women oftentimes, and myself included, I used to be in ballet, I used to be in gymnastics. So for me, the idea of, you know, picking up heavy things, that was a no-no. That was, oh no, I'm going to get bulky. I'm going to get, you know, become.
It's a lot of muscles, yeah. A common mistake. I'll had a lot of muscles. It's not beautiful, yeah. I know, it's common mistake, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that I would say that's the first thing.
Especially for Eastern European girls, yeah.
I don't want to become like, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to become very strong man.
I think that that's a third misconception that I often see, and Dr. 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 talks a lot about that as well. Of women, it takes us a lot more effort to even try and get to that point, right? But in truth, we really do need a lot more muscle bearing activity in order to be healthy. So those are the three things that kind of come very quickly to mind.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Regarding benchmarks, I understand that it is not possible to explain during 5 minutes and 15 minutes. I do understand that it is very complicated topic, and hopefully you will explain it more in your lecture. Yeah, and I know that specifically you will concentrate on hormone balance here.
Mhm. Yep. So the reason, so of everything that I've been looking at and a number of the different kind of folks on my network and talking with experts, hormones is the thing that I keep on getting from women saying they have no idea about it. And there's a lot of misconceptions. So hormones, the reason why we're going to focus on, sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask very fast if this your specialization maybe. So I understand you know a lot of about women health, and we discussed with you before that there is a lot of information inside this topic. But I'm curious, what is your specialty?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was like, what's the question? Yeah, so my specialty is not anything to do with any of this at all. My background was in decision science and economics in undergrad, and then I had a number of brain injuries. And because of my brain injuries, I got interested in the brain and memory specifically, and I went to get my master's in neuroscience. So I was always interested more in the brain. Fast forward to now, reason why women's health became such an interest is because one, I didn't see anybody doing enough with it, right? And two, because I saw how intricately related my experience with brain health was and not getting the answers, right? I wasn't getting answers after my concussion. And I noticed that I also was starting to not get answers for women's health. And my friends who were having PCOS, endometriosis, Hashimoto's, thyroid diseases, my mom who had thyroid cancer and breast cancer, those answers were not, I wasn't finding answers. And as I get older and I'm predisposed to many of these health issues that are female related, selfishly, I just said, all right, I got to figure this out. So my background, again, has nothing to do formally with this. But I think in part, that's a blessing in disguise because I'm able to kind of cherry pick the research I saw and the skills I learned during my program of really understanding research to then also cherry picking and saying, okay, I'm not just mired in the world of MD, which is very, very strict and maybe doesn't fit into this biohacking world that we know is true.
Yeah, I understand. So you have such a great network of experts and you learn from them constantly. You develop your knowledge and you do your research with your team, and you can suggest some cherry-picked ideas and tips and tricks from experts on different areas. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that because of being able to see women's health from a different perspective, right? From the perspective of somebody who's saying, wait, this is not working.
Yeah.
Right? Because the problem is that when you're sitting and you haven't actually had to experience these things, you don't feel the pain. You don't feel the pain of having a hormonal imbalance. You don't feel like it's difficult for somebody to talk to, to an ailment when you haven't had to live with it. And that was my experience when I had my brain injuries. So similarly here, it's because you've had to live with some of these things, or you're fearful that you might get breast cancer or thyroid cancer or things like that. Then you start being a little bit more specific and really honing in and asking those questions to the researchers and the experts, because you know that selfishly it could impact you in 15 years or in 5 years.
Okay, so just to finalize our conversation, one more time, please explain why measurement so important. Why you are going to focus on this hormone balance?
Hormones dictate everything in our lives. Hormones dictate our entire day. Dictates how we everything, how we sleep, how we eat, how we look, how we everything. If your hormones balance, you're not living your life to the fullest.
So can we say that you suggest to get to know yourself and to start from hormone balance, and then according to this hormone balance, you can optimize all aspects of our life: nutrition, exercising, sleep, so on and so on. Yeah?
Yep.
Nice. As far as I understand, it's very important to learn from first hand. That's why we structure this information in such way when more people can accept it. And this time we host on-site event for very small group, because we miss on-site events, but also we will live stream all day, and our followers can watch all day live stream. And hurry up, get your spot with 50% discount by promo code BIOHACKER, link under this video. I'm sure Dasha invites you as well. Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.